Hey guys, Brianne Johnson here, and I'm going to show you how to best Photoshop a headshot today. To get started, you're going to go ahead and open up your image. If you want it to be bigger, you can press Command plus. If you've made the image too big, you just press Command minus to get it back to the size you like. And then we're going to get started with the saturation first. Now, before we get started though, we want to create an extra layer so that way we can always revert back if for some reason we don't like it or see the befores and afters. So you're going to press Command J on a Mac, or if you're on a different computer, Control J, and that's going to create a layer. Now to open up saturation, we're going to go to this circle icon, click on it, and go to Hues and Saturation. Click that. And this toolbar is going to open up here. Before we play with that, we want to put this layer into this one. So to do that, you're going to press Option and hold it down, and it'll create this thingy, this arrow right here. You want to click that. That way they're connected now. Now we're going to go ahead and play with the overall saturation, and that's this one right here. So to take out saturation, you'll move it to the left. It'll make it black and white. And to increase saturation, it'll make it bright, 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 and too bright. I like to go too far to start with just to see how far I can go, because sometimes you can go farther than you'd think. And I'm going to bring it back until it starts to look natural. And yeah, I think about 30 is good. Now the important thing here is that the actual number of saturation, it really doesn't matter. You could go up or down, you could be at 100, it really doesn't matter as long as it looks natural. You just don't want it to look weird. And you don't want it to be lacking in color either. So the actual number is not important, it's how the image looks. And this applies to the exposure as well. It doesn't really matter the actual numbers that you end up on as long as it looks good and natural and like yourself. Okay, so I'm happy with 30. So now if I want to adjust individual color, like say my hair was really, really red and it's just not popping or something, I can go and I can adjust it by individual color. Now to do that, make sure your preset is set to custom, not anything else. And then you're going to go to master and say I wanted my red hair to stand out really well. So I would go to the reds and I would go to my saturation and I would lift it a little bit. And see, that's just going to bring out all the reds in the image. So, but my hair's not that red, so I don't want to go too far with it. It's really just like a nice auburn. So I'm going to leave it at like 5. And I'm going to go through with the rest of my colors to see what else I can make pop in a nice, natural way. So now I'm going to adjust my yellows. And another reason you want to go too far is to see what colors you're even dealing with, because sometimes what you think might be yellow isn't yellow, or it doesn't show up right, or whatever. So you want to go too far to see where the colors are exactly that you're dealing with. Now I'm going to go for greens. Now the only reason greens would really stand out on a headshot is if you had like a lot of natural backgrounds like shrubbery and stuff like that, but this one doesn't have much, so I'm really not going to do much with that. Cyan. Now cyan and blues are good, like if you want to like make your eyes pop a little bit more, that can help a little bit, or if you want your blue shirt to really stand out a little bit more. Okay, I want to see what it looks like as a whole. So now we're done with the saturation. We're going to take both of these layers and drag them into a folder. And this will be our saturation group. So whenever we need to adjust the saturation, all we do is press on the arrow, and then we can go and edit that. If we don't need to see it, then we can do that. And then this will be a before and after of what it looks like without saturation and with the saturation. So we're going to keep that on. We're going to go ahead and label that saturation. And we're going to move on to exposure. First, you're going to select the layer number 1. You're going to press Command Option L, and this is going to bring up the exposure levels. Now sometimes when it opens up, it adjusts for you automatically and like does some weird stuff. All you need to do is take this highlighter one, drag it all the way to the right, this shadow one, drag it all the way to the left, and the middle one, just make sure you put it at 1.00 exactly, and that's your original exposure levels. Now if you want to do shadows, that's how that looks. If you want to do highlights, that's how that looks, but I already feel like it's a little too light as it is, so I'm not going to mess with that one. I'm just going to lower the midtones just a little bit. Let's go too far to see what it looks like. Yeah, I don't like that. That looks good. Now, if you did feel like the image was like way too dark for some reason, that would be a good time to use the highlights. Or if you felt like it was way too light, you might be able to mess with the shadows a little bit to get it to a good level. Generally, I like to use the midtones to make it just right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and press OK when I'm done with the levels. Okay, so that's before. This is after, including saturation and exposure. Now, if you want to see how the exposure was without the saturation, that's after exposure but before saturation. And then that's back to the original. So you can use those to revert or see what it is you like best. Okay, now we've finished with the exposure. Now we're gonna move on to more specific detailed stuff using the patch tool, like taking out zits or unwanted hairs. We're gonna create another layer, Command J, and that's gonna be our patch tool layer. To select the patch tool, you go over here to the left, you hold on to the patch tool until this bar pops up, and then you select patch tool. Now you make sure that's normal, and you make sure it's from the source, not the destination. And then you're gonna close up and find anything that you don't want on there. I got this zit I don't really like too much. I don't always have that zit. I can get rid of it. That's fine. Yeah, see, boom, gone. And we don't have to get too detailed because it's not going to be showing that much. And those are just beauty marks. So you want to leave some beauty marks in there because those are natural. They look nice. So I'm just going to scan my skin really quick, take out the ones I don't like, leave the ones I do. And like some things like this, they're not really noticeable, and some texture makes the skin look more natural anyway. I would really keep this to a minimum, a nice bare minimum. Like whatever you just need to have out, go ahead and take out. But anything you don't need to have taken out, like some nice little whatever beauty marks that you may have, just go ahead and leave those in there. Okay, so now I got this hair across my face that I am not liking very much, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that, but say it's like over a really textured area where the patch tool isn't gonna work. So we're gonna go to the clone area, which is this little guy right here. We're gonna click that, and you're gonna hold down the Alt key to clone where you want it to clone. So that's next to that area, so let's do that. So you hold down the Alt key when you want to select somewhere to clone. Like say I want to clone this area, and then I'm going to drag that down over the hair that I want to go away. So that's how you can cover up hairs and such like that on more complicated and textured areas like your lips. And then you can go back to the patch tool for the rest of it, or you can do it with the clone. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my patch tool, hold that down, select patch tool, normal source, and we're going to take out that hair. Now, like I said again, you don't want to perfectly remove everything. Like if you have like nice little natural spots like here and there, that's a good thing because it makes your skin look natural and real. So you want to keep those in, but maybe like take out the blemishes, things like that, or the unwanted hairs like we took out earlier and things like that. And you don't have to necessarily even take out every single hair. Like I said, a little texture makes it look more natural and realistic. So go ahead and keep a few in here and there. But yeah, I think this looks like a done product, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom out with Command -sign to look at the whole thing, and I think that looks pretty darn good. Okay, so to crop it, we're going to go ahead and go to this crop tool up here, and then to make sure it's an 8x10 inch for like a headshot or something, to make sure it's the right ratio, you go to fixed ratio. It's normally set to normal. Click fixed ratio and click in here. You'll type in 8 at the width and 10 by the height. Now what that'll do is give you an automatic box, so no matter how I drag it, it will be an 8x10 inch ratio. Now say I started too short like this, like I cut off too much of my head and I want it to go higher but it won't move, you just press the space bar and hold it down, and that will allow you to move the box anywhere you want to. Normally I would say keep it in pretty tight to make your head the main focus, but I got such a commanding posture in this. I think I like the idea of keeping a little bit more in there. So once you get it set, you let go of your mouse and you can go to image, crop, and if I decided I wanted tighter, I can just go ahead and go in and create a tighter one. Yeah, I like that. There we go. So there we go. That's how you Photoshop a great headshot. Here are the befores and afters. As you can see, I'm bigger in this one because I cropped it in tighter. This has less color. This has more of my natural color. This has some flaws. This has those flaws taken away, like the hairs and the pimples and the stuff. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please subscribe and share with your friends. And thanks for watching.
Oh my gosh, more of them? Wow! Yeah, you should totally watch them. They are totally awesome because I made them.